Right. Hello, everyone. I think we are live. How is everyone doing? It's good to see you guys on this Monday evening. Let me just make sure my phone is off so you guys can't hear my notifications or even messages. And yeah, let's just, as usual, let's just wait for the YouTube confirmation. In the meantime, let's open Ubuntu because we are going to do some work on Golang on the Ubuntu side. Okay, I can see myself live now. And I can hear myself as well, which is always good. And yeah, I mean, if you're in the chat, say hello, just so I can know if it's working or not. I would appreciate that. But yeah, thank you for all the people who are already tuned in. And if you guys are, looking forward to, I hope you guys are looking forward to doing some Rust. In particular, so not Rust. Did I say Rust? I meant Golang. Sorry, I've been doing Rust for too long in the stream now. I've been doing Rust for like 3 or 4 weeks now. And it's time for a little break. And it's time to go back to finally the Golang project that we started ages ago, right? And that's actually this. So Urchin. For those who don't know, for those who are just tuning in to the stream here, we have this long-going project that we've maybe started. I think it was like 4 months, 6 months ago. There you go, migration 6 months ago. Yeah, that we started 6 to 7 months ago, and basically the project is a rewrite, shall we say, of a modern CMS in Golang, right? So it doesn't do that much now. I think we have actually got things like being able to do posts, being able to do pages, image handling, media handling, and that's about it, right? There isn't much to it. And if I'm honest with you guys, it's been ages. It's been absolutely ages since I've actually done anything to this. I'm surprised that there are so many forks on this, 19 forks apparently. And I was also very surprised when I took a look at the stars here. So we kind of reached 60 stars, I think, last week. So yeah, if you guys want to give me a star on this, I would appreciate if you can just click on the link on the description and then just start the project. Damn, it still didn't start automatically. Hello, GTX. How's it going, dude? It's good to see you here. Yeah, I was wondering whether or not you're going to join this stream, but it's good that you have actually joined. I'm behind about a minute. Yeah, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Everyone's usually always behind on stream. I mean, your messages take like a minute to get here. So just hang on. If I don't answer your question straight away, that's probably because I haven't received it yet. Or it's not on the stream yet. And also, I always love to hide this little heart thing here on YouTube because it just gets in the way of the messages. So anyway, so the plan, there's no plan for the stream today, to be honest. My plan is essentially to just try and go back to work on this by kind of doing some of the bugs that we have here. There's quite a few bugs actually that we've reported recently, and yeah, I mean, just build a project, show you guys how it works, and then yeah, get going with it basically. Yeah, first of all, let's actually go to my Urchin directory, and then I'm gonna check out to main. Just gonna do a poll here to make sure that we're on the latest. And yeah, it's very easy. I mean, you can deploy this thing anywhere as long as you have a server running Docker. I mean, you don't need to do Docker, by the way. You can deploy this without Docker, which is always good. And yeah, I mean, let's just see how we do this. So I think we can go into Docker and do a Docker compose. Oh, and hopefully this is going to work, or maybe not. Yeah, ready for connections. We are listening. Yeah, so the application is basically two things. So we have a database running, and we also have the main sort of like admin app and the app really, which is not the admin app. So you can see them all starting here. It's all done quite nicely with Docker Compose. In a sense that if I do localhost 8080, you should be able to see this, and it looks very familiar to you, or should look very familiar to you guys if you've seen my Rust streams in the past. In fact, the CMS that we're creating in Rust is a port of this project, so this project actually has more stuff on it than the Rust one. But yeah, I mean, things work very well. I can't complain. It renders everything. There's a service. Oh, there's no service yet, but there are an image thing in here. which is kind of undefined because I think all of these images have been deleted, and somehow the CMS doesn't pick that up. But yeah, I mean, you can do images. There's a contact thing in here. There is reCAPTCHA integration with Google and a bunch of stuff here. So with that in mind, let's see what we can pick up. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to try and get my dev stuff. We have a bunch of logging, which is very useful here, but I'm going to finish this, right? So we're just going to stop this app with Control C. Yeah, I want to hear from you guys. So how was everyone's weekend? You know, are you guys doing well? Did you guys do any coding on the weekend? What did you learn? You know, tell me all of it. I bought a domain yesterday. I have it redirecting to my GitHub temporarily until I have something done. Urchin is CMS, just like WordPress. Yeah. So it's supposed to be a CMS just like WordPress, but obviously I don't have as many features as WordPress does. But if you have a simple blog, you can probably deploy with it, GTX. And in fact, I would absolutely encourage you doing that, because then I have an actual customer. It's not just me running this thing on my family's websites. I do run the actual thing on like 2 or 3 different websites that, you know, are intended for family business, but I don't tell anyone about it. I will deploy, maybe. Yeah. I mean, that would be incredible if I can get like a customer. Anyway, is it free? Yes, it's free, dude. It's open source. You can, you know, if you click on the link in the description, you can see it there. I have no instructions on how to deploy it without Docker at the moment, but you know, that's an amazing idea. So like, this is a future, I guess, a future stream idea, right? So going from your web application to deploying, because it's so easy. Like, all you have to do is just to obviously compile the application, and you have to like push it to your Amazon ECS or wherever you're deploying things to, and then just creating a system service for the app, right? So it's always restarting if it goes down or something like that. So that is probably the easiest kind of setup that, you know, you can possibly have for a web application. Obviously, there's also like the database and whatnot, but yeah. Whispers, is it free real estate? Yeah, it's free real estate, dude. It's absolutely free. I have a VPS set up. Nice. Virtual private server. Is that what it means? But anyway, so let's do some bug fixing, shall we? So investigate why we can remove post twice. So according to the specification of HTTP protocol, the delete operations is in idempotent, and therefore should be able to call endpoints multiple times. Although the return code can change, the endpoint should behave in a... Yeah, I mean, I think the point of this bug was that, you know, we have this admin app thing where you can add posts and delete posts and do like modifications to them. And I think it was actually, you know, the case is that if you have a post and you delete it once, you can still hit it again, which means that there is something lingering there, and it's not returning the proper state. So let's investigate this one out. Let's see if we can actually... Oh, we're still doing this. We're still going. We're still going, right? So is this still working? Yeah, this is still working. And if I just open VS Code in here, because I've got Postman in there, you can see what I mean, right? So we're going to delete the same post twice and see if it works. That's the case here. Development, Urchin, code. Something is cached. Is the system stateless? Yeah, so the system is... or should be stateless as possible. It's just a REST API. There are things that are getting cached. You do have a good point. So whenever you access a post, for example, that post web page is cached into a map, so we don't have to calculate it every time. But that is not happening on the admin website, as far as I know. So the admin should not be caching anything. We're going to figure that out right now. So if we... Wait, why is this... Okay, that Ubuntu logo is really odd, isn't it? On fast fetch. This looks terrible. They should improve this. Anyway, so yeah, thank you to everyone who's joined this, and I'd appreciate a like just before we continue. How big of an issue is this? Maybe it's just something weird on the browser. Well, it's a big issue, I would say, right? So it is it is definitely a big issue, because you don't want the users to be able to delete something twice. I mean, if you can delete something twice, it means that there's some state lingering somewhere on the database. Which, yeah, I mean, okay, let me just set some stuff here on the stream. Okay. Yeah, anyway, so let's see that. So Urchin admin, and if we remove a post, let's see which post we can actually remove. So for example, created on the stream 2024-05. So this is an example post. Okay, do I have anything else like that? Yeah, I've got this one as well. So let's try and delete this one. This one has ID. Oh, sorry, excuse my voice. This one has ID 3, right? So I'm going to skip the ad for you guys right now. So I want you guys to stick on the stream. So let's try and remove ID 3, right? So if we look at the body, we have ID 3 here. If we send it, page not found. Huh? So localhost 8081. Where the hell is my admin app running? So Urchin app, Urchin admin app. Does it say here where it's running? Hello, Mariba. How is it going, dude? Welcome to the stream. I thought I logged, which port this is running at. I know that the main application is running on port 8080 by default. We can also take a look at the config file, because I'm pretty sure I set it in there. But I thought that Goose is supposed to... Oh, sorry, not Goose. I thought that Jin is supposed to tell us which port. There you go, 8081. So posts isn't doing it. So if you delete post, is post a thing? We do have a delete there. Huh. Hi, port 8080. Hello, Anton. How's it going? Yeah, it's port 8081. But why doesn't this exist? If I look at my admin app, right? Let's take a look. Admin app. We do have a post which has all of the endpoints here for the post. We should have a delete, if I'm not mistaken, a delete post handler. Delete post handler. So let's see where this is used. So if we look at delete post handler, we have here some posts ID. Posts ID, right? So that should be working. Oh, that is myself. You don't want to see my ugly face. Okay, so posts and the ID should be here. So 3. If I delete that. Okay, so that implies that the post was deleted, right? So let's see here. So Urchin admin, you can see that the thing hit. And we return the 200. If we do it again, what happens? Oh, post not found. Okay, so this is fixed. This is 100% fixed then. Okay, on to the next bug. On to the next freaking bug. So this is actually fixed from the looks of it. And just to make sure, we are returning something like 404, right? Not found, post not found. Okay, I'm happy with that, to be honest. Yeah, so this is actually not an issue anymore. I'm not logged into my my personal account here, so that's fine. So config to enable both admin and main page. This is already a thing as well, I'm pretty sure. So correct return errors from post endpoints. Maybe this is an interesting one. When the post ID passed is negative. Okay, so let's see what happens when we do that, right? This stream is a showcase of what a senior dev would do. Nice. Yeah, I guess it is, yeah. If you're a senior dev and you're trying to develop a web application, follow my things here. All I'm doing is just, there's nothing interesting that I'm doing here except just testing the end-to-end application. And in fact, this is going to turn into a short now, but you should 100% do end-to-end tests by yourself, right? So whenever you create anything, such as web application with some endpoints on it, or you have some sort of like system application that's running on the background, make sure that you actually run it on your machine. Make sure that you test all of the important use cases, because you'd be impressed how many people don't actually do that. So like, there are so many people who just raise PRs with an entire feature and do zero testing on there, absolutely zero testing on there, and kind of rely on like QA engineers or test engineers to just go and pick up their work and just magically know how to test the entire thing. I find that extremely kind of unproductive, to be honest. So I don't like when devs don't test their own code. That's what I'm saying. Yes, having QA engineers is good. Yes, having people who test your stuff or customers who test your stuff and give you feedback is good, but you should be doing some testing as well. So like, you should be doing some testing to see how the customer is actually using your stuff, and therefore you should be able to figure out whether or not what you've done is actually good, because in most cases people don't do testing, and that pisses me off. Anyway, clip time, clip that. What are you building? So Mariba, I am doing a Golang CMS, so a content management system, which is a fancy word or a fancy set of words for a application that kind of manages web content. So like a blog. Think of it as a blog basically. So you can add posts, you can have pages, you can add images to your pages, you can add a bunch of stuff, right? Contact forms and that kind of shit. And if you guys are interested, by the way, link again is on the description, and please, I encourage you guys to go in there right now and at the very least, if you can, start the project for me. I would appreciate that massively. If you can click on star here and you have a GitHub account, you're my friend. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so we do have a bug here that's actually, passing an invalid post ID. This is okay. I mean, it's not okay really. I mean, the page looks like trash, right? So we can add an error page here. And you can see that we return 400. 400 is actually the right thing to do. 400 is the right, it should be 404, right? Not found, I would say. Or 400. I don't even know, what does 400 actually tell us? So HTTP error codes, right? I know 404 is not found. 400 is, why did I forget 400? There you go, bad request. Yeah, bad request is okay in this case, right? Because the user is actually making a bad request. Like they're putting an ID that doesn't make sense, like a minus ID. Thank you, Anton. Thank you. You guys got to be faster next time. You see, it would have saved me a little Google there. But I'm going to keep this here. And let's see if it actually makes sense. So the server cannot or will not process the request due to an apparent client error. Malform request syntax, size too large, invalid request message framing, or deceptive request routing. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, 400 is okay. The only star here is you. You're gonna make me blush, my man. You're gonna make me blush. Thank you very much. Check 418. 418, that's an unknown one, because I don't really know that one. I'm a teapot. This code was defined in 98 as one of the traditional April Fool's joke. I love that. I love that. This has probably been in the standard for like so long now. Well, it has since 98. And yeah, it just shows you how much how goofy we can be, right? As software developers, we are very goofy people, aren't we? I love a goofy developer. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean this. Anyway, my point is, let's add an error page that actually looks nice, because this looks like ass, and yeah, we don't want that, do we? So let me show you guys something cool. So for those that just tuned in, we do most of the templating here with a library called Temple, right? So Temple is this incredible, amazing library for Golang, where you can basically write Go code in your HTML file. So if you guys have done PHP before, raise your hands, say it on the chat if you've done PHP before. So if you guys have done PHP before, it looks very similar to PHP, but with Golang, because this is what Temple allows you. And let me show you how that kind of works, right? So plus, Anton, dude, yeah, you are experienced, aren't you? So yeah, let me show you how that looks anyway. So we have views here somewhere. We should have views somewhere. I'm pretty sure there is a directory called views. There you go. And we have these .temple files here, right? So we have contact.temple, which is basically like a collection of templated or Golang functions, where the body themselves are Golang, are HTML, right? The body of a function here is just HTML with some like sprinkling Golang in it, which is what actually makes it interesting. So if you look at for example, one that actually uses Golang in it, because this one is just a temple file. So for example, post, right? Post is a good one. We just have a normal HTML file. There is some weird syntax here, which I'll explain in a second. This is composition. But we also have these things here where we just replace like whatever the title comes in here through the function in HTML, and we can have a particular like tempo functions that will do particular things. So like if you want to put raw HTML content, you have to use this tempo.raw thing in here. And it's incredible. I really love it, and he makes it just as useful as PHP, right? So it's like Ginger for Python. Yeah, it's exactly like Ginger, yeah. And I actually know what Ginger is because I've had to search for a Rust equivalent of Tempo, and there was so many Ginger kind of based crates for Rust, which is amazing. But I feel like Tempo is something else though. Tempo is better than Ginger. It has like much more, well, many more features. Put it that way. So it has a bunch of other stuff as well. I particularly like the composition stuff where you can like simply call the function that's defined in another view, as long as it's in the same sort of like package, right, in the same module, and it will automatically replace things. What I like about Rust, or what I like about Tempo, is that all of your functions have to be well defined. What do I mean by that? So the HTML inside the function has to be well defined in a way that you can't open a tag and not close it there, because the Tempo compiler will kind of complain. It will be like, you created a function with HTML that isn't valid. And it does some sort of like HTML parsing, which is good. I'm not sure if Ginger does that. Does it do that? I don't know. Hello Arconaf, how's it going? This is what I'm talking about. Stumbling upon a surprise stream just makes my night. Thank you, dude. Yeah, do you know what makes my night, Ahmed, is when you like the stream, dude. If you click on that like button, that's what makes my night. But anyway, going back to the stream, what I'm trying to say is that we should probably create a page here, or create a little error page, right? Error page. And then we actually kind of serve this when we don't find anything. Oh, what did I just do? Okay, error. I don't want to copy from the contact though, for sure. I want to copy it from post. Menu and contact form. Wait, what? Why does the post have a title of menu and contact form? Is that another bug as well? Wait, what? What is going on? Temple Urchin not found. Ginger is less complicated. Yeah, I guess Ginger is less complicated. You're correct. Coding with Matt. What can I do when my DNS provider does not send me the auth code for transferring my domain? I don't know, dude. I never had that problem. Whenever I transfer the domain to Amazon's services, for example, I always get it within a day. So you're going to have to contact them probably if you're having actual issues. I don't think it can do that many things. Yeah, no, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I think Temple is definitely a little bit more feature rich than Ginger is. But yeah, I unlock the domain and I have DNSSEC. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know much about DNS stuff apart from just being able to transfer it to the Amazon, domain services. But yeah, I'm gonna call Squarespace. Yeah, do call them. I mean, they have to provide some service, right? So it did fail here because I'll tell you what. This is automatically being compiled, right? So I have something called air here, which is automatically reloading my stuff as I make changes. So it's recompiling the recompiling the Golang code, recompiling the templates, and I created something that we didn't finish, right? So we're gonna do that. So we're gonna click on error, and we're gonna do a make error page, right? And there's no title here. I guess we're probably gonna send the error string, right? So error string or something. Yeah, that's it. So we are just gonna do that, and the links will be at the top. We're still gonna pass that in. Error. We're gonna put an error in there. We're gonna keep everything mostly the same in here, except the thing will be just a fix, error. Error occurred. And then we can put the error string in here, right? So error string, like that. So once you save this, right? Once you save this, things should actually compile now. You see that this is automatically compiling my template for me into Rust code, into Go code. I keep saying Rust, I'm sorry. I keep saying Rust, but I mean Golang. right? So this should be okay. And we are running for sure. And you can see here that it automatically created the error tempo.go, right? So this is basically the generated Golang code for all of these tempo functions here, right? So you can call them within the application. So what we need to do now is add, I guess, we're going to have to serve this web page, serve the error tempo whenever we encounter an error. So for example, whenever we do something like this here, so we pass a negative ID for a post, we should return the error page with this here as the error message, right? So that's what we're going to do. So let's see how that's currently done, right? So we have posts here, which is on the main application. So let me just find out because it's been a while. So main post, I think it is here. And we have, okay, post handler here. So post not fine. There you go. So this is the particular error that we are seeing. So instead of this, instead of returning a JSON, I would like to serve an error page, right? So generate HTML pages, you can see here. I am going to add a function here at the top that will serve that. So function, I don't know what it should return actually. What should we return? Yeah, maybe a void, right? So function serve error page. I don't know what we're going to take at, to be honest, but it's going to be something like this in here, right? So we are getting the content and then putting it there. So first of all, we need to get the, I guess, the error message, which is going to be a string, right? For sure. Can this generate an error? This can generate an error as well, which is quite interesting, right? So serving the error page can generate an error. For example, if you can't load the template file, then you're going to have to create an error somehow, right? So we're not going to make a post page in here. So what we're going to do is like the error page, right? So we're going to do, this is what I like about tempo. So automatically I'm going to get a views.make error page. You see, so all that templating turned into a function automatically in Golang here. And this is what I like. This is one of the things I like about tempo. And I think this is why you guys should try it out. And it also does tell me that it takes an error string and a bunch of links, right? So it takes an error string, which is, you know, the error message here. And we're going to have the links as well. So for example, app settings, app navbar dot links. And this is going to be the app settings here, which is going to be common app settings, I think. There you go. We can remove that one. The error page is there. Now we do need to say, you know, what does that return us? That returns a tempo component every time. And we're turning that component into a HTML buffer, right? Yeah, we're going to render that to the buffer. And we somehow need to actually, you know, pass it to the Gin context here, or the Gin thing. What is CMS? Content management system. Think of WordPress. Think of Joomla. So replying to a message, and there you go. So, you know, welcome to the stream. Ardash, by the way, I forgot to say. I'd appreciate a like, my man. So if you can click on the like button, I'd appreciate it. Aside from that, ask me any questions. I'm here to, you know, answer anything you guys may have in mind. So yeah, so we are rendering this error page, which should really be error page.render. And C, I believe, is the context, which should be whatever C is here. What is C? C is the Gin context, right? So Gin context is a thing to it. So C should be a Gin.context, which is a pointer to it. Okay. And we can pass in the error. Do you only use Amazon for your hosting? So GTX, at the moment, yes. And I'll tell you why, is because it tends to be fairly cheap and fairly easy for me to set up things at. So I can run something like 3 or 4 websites in a micro machine from Amazon, which costs something like 10 pounds a month. And if you include the hosting, that costs maybe like 10-12 pounds a year. Then that's equivalent to like 11 pounds a month for 4 websites. So it turns out very cheap for me. And I run my blog with that. I still, believe it or not, I still have a blog somewhere. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, check it out. But I haven't posted anything. And I also run a few, like 1 or 2 other websites that my family use for random businesses. So like my auntie's website, for example, runs on one of them. And after my plan renews, it will be about that amount. Yeah, so once that's a good point actually. So usually what these guys do is like they offer you a very cheap solution. As you can probably tell, you got a very good machine, right? I guess on whatever provider it was, for basically nothing. With the hope that you're gonna create your apps, you're gonna like kind of deep dive into their systems and make your app dependent on their stuff, right? And then when it comes to renewing, the prices go up. So they all do that. It's not the same. Is the same for everyone. But for me, what I found is that once that the free period runs out, the one that tends to be the cheaper for me is AWS for sure, and more reliable as well. You can probably shop around and get cheaper deals with like Google Cloud as well, because they offer really really cheap stuff. But that tends to be the case. So you get something for cheap on the first year, and then after that, once you renew, it actually gets quite expensive. First year is like 6.5 euros per month for 1 year. Yeah, so that's about right. Yeah, I recently started learning in Golang, but I built a simple authentication application using Mux. Will you review my code? Adash, I would love to, dude. I would love to. So if you join the Discord, yeah, there's a link on the Discord. Send me the link in that, because I do sometimes do code reviews streams, and I've not yet had the Golang code review, so I would love to see that. So yeah, let's turn into a thing. But it's only a VPS. If I get beep, then I can just set up shop elsewhere. I have everything Dockerized. Yeah, that's what I recommend. Just whatever application you make, whatever you're making, basically make sure that it's not locked to a particular cloud provider, because you will most likely have to change it. You always find if you do things properly in a Dockerized environment, to the point that you can quite easily just like deploy it somewhere else, then you can always get the cheapest deals, always, which is a good thing. Yeah, so we're gonna render to the context here, and we are gonna return nil, I think, here, right? So return nil, and that is it, right? So that is exactly it. So in theory, we have enough to serve the error page now. So let's take a look if we can actually pass that in here. So if the post ID is 1, so we're going to serve error page. The error is going to be invalid. Oh, requested invalid post ID, right? We have to pass the context in here. I forgot about that. So see that, and then the app settings like that, right? And yeah, we can do some sort of like error equals that, or error equals this. Yeah, no, this is the problem. So if we do have an error, we still have to like serve something in here. So if error is not nil, we're still going to do this serve just in case. We're still going to serve it, right? Only the OGs will get that reference. Ardash, are you from a country where the internet is restricted and just recently moved somewhere for school? Why is that question? Just guessing. Okay. Interesting that you can guess that from the name, though. I have tried AWS once, launched an EC2 instance for a simple website, which was about $4 a month, as it said. But the cost was up to $1 the next day already. Yeah, so you got to be careful, Mariba. So like one of the things that I do whenever I do anything on AWS, for example, or Google Cloud, They set up a billing thing, a billing notification. So all of the cloud providers will have a billing like service where you can go and set up things for free. And I always set it to tell me when I've gone over like $5, $10, just because I'm aware of when that happens, so I can go manually and shut things down. And in the very unlikely case where you actually get hacked, your account can get hacked by like people who are trying to mine crypto online or something like that. You can find that out straight away and kind of like shut it down from the start, because I've had occasions with friends, specifically like friends in the industry, friends who are developers, who have had their accounts kind of like hacked, and then they had to pay something like £5,000 for someone's like used up crypto mining scheme or some shit. So yeah, just be careful. That's what I can say. But as I said, yeah, clip time, another clip time. Yeah, there you go. Let's make it more friendly now, so I can edit it in the future. So you should always be careful with first of all, with your AWS credentials, so you don't get hacked and you end up having to pay £5,000 for crypto mining schemes. And also always set up a billing environment or a billing notification on your cloud provider, just so you know what's going on and you don't pay unexpected amounts, right? Because cloud is expensive. It can be expensive. Cloud can be very expensive. Yeah, so we return nil here, which is good. So we return. When do we ever return an error? Okay, so we never really returned that error there. Yeah, but I didn't understand how he went to £1 in a single day when he said it was 4 a month. Sometimes it can just go up not linearly. So maybe they said it was going to be 4 months, but you might have found that if you let it run for a few days, it would only stay at $1. Maybe they just wanted to check that your card is working or something, and they wanted to charge $1. Sometimes the companies do that, so you never know. But yeah, as I recommended, always set up a billing notification. It was probably because you wrote bad code. No, yeah, that doesn't really happen. Come on, I mean, you can write bad code, but the running costs are still the same, unless you wrote some bad infrastructure code where it was mistakenly creating like a new ECS or EC2 instance every like 10 minutes or something. So yeah, an infinite while loop while creating EC2 instances. Yeah, that can cost you quite a lot. You are correct if that's what you meant. Yeah, so I think this is okay. Post not found is another one as well, so we can serve another one of these. So we can say post not found, error post not found. Given post is not found, and then if we do if error is not nil, we can do this here, right? And I think that's it. That's pretty much all of the errors that we can have on the post handlers anyway, right? On the post handler, yeah. I mean, let's take a look. So we have, hopefully, rerun. So it's already hot reloaded. And if I do this, oh, okay. So I get something. I get a Y screen, which is not ideal, right? Let's see what actually happens here. That is odd. What? This is very odd. I don't want to have to set up debugging here. How can you detect something like an infinite while loop, though? You can test, but if your test coverage isn't enough, I mean, your program just doesn't finish, right? So if you have unit tests and stuff, you can definitely find a while loop. Or an infinite one. Right, so in this case, why did it not work? Why did it not work? So serve error page. Are we serving this? So if we do a log dot error dot message function or something like that, message f, there you go. Running the serve error page. I just want to see if this is working fine. So we're building again. Okay, so did we get the log here? There you go, log error, running the server error page. So for some reason, could not render is not like we were able to render it. but for some reason it's just white. It's the white screen. I have an interview tomorrow. Oh, GTX, nice dude. So I hope you do well. Make sure you are, I'm gonna give you some tips in a second, but make sure that you are just natural, right? Let me get back to you in a second. Infinite while loop. It was a simple website, just a React app. Fair enough. Yeah, so those should be very cheap to run. How can you detect something like, well, infinite loop? We've already answered that. Data science internship. I talked about it in Discord. Any tips? I'm sure that you are fine in terms of knowledge, right? So if you were able to get the interview, that means you know the stuff. So I'm not going to give you too many tips on that. What I will say is that whenever I'm part of interviewing people, one of the things that is quite, people don't realize that makes a massive difference is how kind of friendly and natural you are, right? So for example, just make sure that you are, first of all, not nervous. So be prepared mentally a little bit before. Get all of your nerves out before the interview. Make sure that, whenever people are talking, you are listening well. You're not like cutting them off. Make sure that you ask concise questions. You make sure that you ask good questions about the company that you're interviewing for, because that makes a huge difference. It shows that you've kind of researched the company a little bit before, and it shows interest most of all, right? And I cannot stress this enough. Be friendly on the interview. So try not to talk bad about your previous employer. So if they ask you about, where you've worked at before, try not to say bad things about them, because it comes across very badly, for example. Try not to sound too cocky, and cocky in English kind of means, too kind of like full of yourself sometimes, or too, thinking that you're always the best. That's, no one's always the best. If you don't understand something, ask them to repeat. If you don't know something, it's okay to say you don't know, but try and give it a kind of like an educated guess, or something that would or work, or tell them your thought process on how you'd work something out that you don't know. It will be a telephone interview, my worst nightmare. In recent days, I've been polishing up on the main topics. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, the first stage. It shouldn't be too difficult then. I mean, the most difficult interviews is when you actually, have to face to face with someone online or in real life. Those are the more interesting ones, because it usually involves, talking to a long period of time to someone, and also doing some sort of challenge, right, in a programming language, right in front of them. But as I said, dude, if you follow those tips, just be natural, listen well, ask questions, and be honest most of the time. That's fine. I have a pretty bad stutter that gets better the longer I talk to someone. Yeah, so that happens to me as well. So when I'm really nervous, I feel like I have a stutter, and I don't say things properly, and I kind of think too fast or speak too fast. But a very good thing that I try to do most of the time is just, breathing, calming down, and trying to speak slowly. So like how I'm talking to you right now. So speak very slowly if you're struggling. It doesn't matter, as long as you're understandable, just try and concentrate and kind of hold your nerves. That's all. Nervousness is probably the worst thing in an interview. The worst thing you can have in an interview, put it that way. But yeah. So I know that the page was served properly. But I don't understand what happened, because we've rendered it. We've rendered it to the HTML buffer. Oh, hold on a second. So the HTML buffer is empty. That's why it's run. Yeah. Render this buffer. Return buffer.bytes. When am I actually getting the post view? Post view.render to the buffer. Oh wait, should I be doing something else? I shouldn't be rendering to the buffer. I should be rendering to the page straight away, right? So if I do this, there you go. Code int name string object any. Wait, how am I actually? Yeah, this is going to the cache. I understand this now. We have, this is what happens when you don't look at your code for like months and months at a time. this works fine when I'm trying to return the HTML buffer. So it puts all of the HTML content inside the buffer. And in here, you can see that I return that buffer. And if you actually look at where this is used, right? So if I go on my post handler, I can do a find all references to it. And if I go on app.go, we have a cacheable handler. So the generator function here, which ends up being the function that generates my HTML, it goes into the buffer there, right? And if there's no error on that buffer, we then do a data, do c.data. And this is the function that I should be doing instead, which is, yeah. So if the error is nil, we do data. Okay, yeah, so this is basically what I should be doing. I shouldn't be trying to return the buffer to be cached, because at this point, I'm not actually bothered about caching it too much. Maybe I should cache error pages, but for now, we're just going to do something like this in here, right? So cache endpoint contents, in this case, you're going to put in the HTML buffer. .bytes, I think. Now, even this I don't really like too much, so to do, is there a better function to serve the bytes here? Because I'm pretty sure that whenever we have the .render function, that should work. I'll go back to the chat in a second, guys. I'm just trying to focus on this for like a minute. I promise you I'll catch up with the chat, so keep posting your comments. So post, render. What do I do in a page that's not cached? So for example, if I look at my contact page here, I know that this is not cached. Oh yeah, I just rendered the bytes anyway. So we render HTML and return that. Contact handler. Already had 3 clips in this stream. Yeah, dude, it's becoming really good. Yeah. I heard this somewhere that when managers take interviews, it's more like, can I go grab a beer with this guy sometimes? Is that true? I guess it is. I mean, I wouldn't say no. I personally do that, and I personally judge people based on whether or not I would get on well with them in real life, because you know most times some people aren't your cup of tea, but that doesn't mean that they can't work with you well, right? But I do take I do take importance on whether or not that person is gonna behave well at work, and they're gonna be friendly, and they're gonna be helpful, right? Because sometimes in an interview you can just tell that the person is kind of like too full of themselves sometimes, and they will always think that they always have the last say on something, and they're always right. That's not really the kind of person you want to work with sometimes, right? So what I'm trying to say is that, work on your soft skills, because that's a big important thing as well. Doing lit code questions and knowing all the technical stuff is obviously good, but it's not everything. If Sopu is doing some clips for you, then be wary of being accused of child labor. Yeah, no, I kind of just said that we probably won't be able to do that, dude, because he's I think it's like 15, so at least I can't pay him. I can't pay him with money, at least, right? But if you know anyone else who is interested in doing clips, let me know, and I'm happy to pay them for. So yeah, so we have this endpoint here that's not actually being cached. Make contact handler, and that returns a function. And that function, what does it do? So we should render, right? So make render to C. Yeah, render, there you go. So this function here, which is in the package app, it just renders to the context. Okay, so maybe that's what I should be calling, right? Yeah, this is what I should be calling on the error page, because that is exactly what I want to do. So yeah, as I said, there is some function already in Temple that lets you kind of just do a render straight to the context, so we don't have to like create a buffer for the HTML, then render the view to the HTML, and then get that HTML buffer onto the context handler, which is good. It cuts down like the middleman there, right? So it's probably more efficient. So in that case, I think what we actually need to do here is not even that at all. We're just going to do a render. Then we have C here, and we have the status int, which is, I guess, 400 in this case. So status code HTTP dot status bad request. Yeah, why not? For now, let's put a bad request here, but we should probably change this. And then the temple itself, which will be my error page, right? And this returns an error itself, which is error there. And in fact, let's do this. This should work a little bit better. Okay, so you see, I don't need the HTML buffer anymore. Yeah, I should probably pass in the error code in here as well, right? So something like a HTTP status request or whatever this is. So what are these? Const. These are just integers, I guess, right? What are they? I have a person who absolutely despises if he would work at the same company as I would avoid them at all costs. If I were hiring, I wouldn't hire them. Yeah, that's what I mean, you know. Yeah, some people you can, you know, you can just tell from the interview that they're not going to be friendly. I could do some stuff. I took marketing course where we had to cut videos and manage a WordPress website. That sounds really good, dude. Yeah, I mean, if you are interested in earning per cuts that you make, let me know, and we can definitely sort something out. I'll send you the video I made for the final assignment. Yeah, dude. Yeah, if I can see some of that, that would be amazing. It's good having someone that is clipping your stuff who's actually watching the stream as well, because you know exactly when the timestamps are. But I tend to like go through the stream the next day and then mark down on a notepad, like, you know, this time to this time we had a potential clip here, and so on. And truth be told, I can never get more than like one good clip per video. So if we have like 2 or 3 in this one, that would be amazing already. Unfortunately, you have to like work hard. So, okay, we do a render here. Okay, so I think we should be okay now. So let's take a look if we do this now. There you go. So error occurred. Okay, so I'm going to push this actually. I'm going to actually stop the containers. Let's do a addition here. Is there anything else that we added? Yeah, there is. So git add views, and then we have the error temple. Okay, good. Let's just check out a new page, a new thing in here. So I don't know what to call this one. So fix. Yeah, so fix, I guess. Get post errors, or not fix, or serve error pages. Serve error get post errors. Yeah, sounds better, doesn't it? So git commit adding error page server for common post errors, and then we can do something like, you know, what did we have? We serve error page if the user inputs a negative invalid post ID. And what else did we do? There was another error that we fixed here as well, which was when the post is not found, right? Serve error page if the post ID is valid, but no post exists with that ID. Okay, there was something I was gonna do. So this here, so I'm gonna pass in the error code, right? Which is just going to be an integer there. Error page, and then we have that. And we're going to put the error code there. Now, of course, we are missing this one here. So this one should be a http.status bad request. If I'm not mistaken, that's 400, right? Yeah, it is. And this one here is not a bad request per se. This one here is more like a not found. So status not found. That's it, right? And now we should have the proper error codes. And I'm going to fix up this. I'm going to add this change to the commit that I've already made. So let's do that. Let's fix up. Otherwise, I don't want to put like 2 different commits. Oops. Okay, so we force release? No, we don't, because we don't actually have a branch. So push origin serve error get post errors. There you go. So we should have a nice little PR now. Let's get back to the chat because I've missed a few messages. Sorry about that. I will send you the video made. Okay, read that one. What do you think about the job market for Golang compared to Java? Do you think Go is going to be as heavy used as Java is today? I'll be very impressed if Go is not already like on the same level as Java today, because there are so many like backend jobs that require Golang and so many really, really huge companies that are using it. For example, you know, one of the biggest online banks here in the UK, Monzo that is, they have the whole backend written entirely in Golang. So, you know, there are companies like that which are like employing a huge number of Golang developers and are setting really, really good standards out there online already. And yeah, no, I think it's a back-end language of the future, to be honest. And if I ever lost my job in C++, if I ever couldn't work in C++ anymore, Golang would be my go-to kind of like language to find a new back-end job somewhere, because I enjoy it. It's quite good. It's a simple language and it does what it says on the tin, and that's it. There's nothing else that you need for a programming language to be successful, in my opinion. Yeah, I hope that explains my opinions on it. Yeah, I mean, just because it has a lot of kind of like killer apps, shall we say, I think it's going to be a very successful language in the long run. So yeah, and I'm not only let me read that. And I'm not the only one who dislikes that guy, but he's always picking on me for no reason. It like never grew up or something. Yeah, dude, I mean, if you're having that sort of issue at work, I mean, you can always report to HR, right? I mean, human resources, and see what they say, because, you know, bullying in the workplace shouldn't be tolerated. Put it that way. It's fine if you joke with someone who wants to be joked with, but if you clearly don't appreciate it, then yeah. The funny stuff was about marketing costs. That basically everyone made 9/11 jokes when they got a chance for a video. Yeah, I mean, those tend to get a lot of views, don't they? We got some assets. One was a picture. See, I could not resist animating. Oh, dude. I hope I don't get cancelled for these ones. In my observation, media and senior positions are open to Golang devs, but not juniors. Java has a lot of entry positions along with .NET. I think, you know, junior roles are kind of everywhere in any language. I have personally seen a lot of junior roles in Golang, just because, you know, it doesn't require a lot of knowledge to be able to program in Golang, in my opinion. It's just a simple language, and it doesn't have beginners can be good at writing Go. That's what I'm trying to say. Try joking with him, but he always takes it so far. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said, dude. You know, just let him know, dude. I don't appreciate that. And if he continues, dude, just report it. You know, it's nothing you can do. So we fixed that one. Is there another bug that we can fix on Urchin as well? There was this one. So when this is a string, right? So do we have this working when it's a string? So let's go into Docker and let's do a Docker compose again. Oh, Docker compose up. I just want to make sure that all of these errors have actually been fixed. So, okay, so we have post that is not a valid post. Okay. I know that two of these cases do actually work very well already. If I do something that is like some string here, something. Yeah, okay, requested invalid post ID. We still throw an error, right? So I'm fairly happy that we have actually fixed this issue. Okay. Yeah, this was actually tried to fix before with Surab. I think he's the one who implemented the error pages. It's not the error pages, the JSON files, but I wanted an actual error page. Yeah, I've not seen Surab in ages. Surab is another viewer here of the channel, and yeah, he's recently got a job. He's also recently got a job like you guys, hopefully. I don't work with him. He was my classmate, but I need to take an additional year in my uni program because I missed one class. But he recently wrote me out of nowhere. And what was asking I wasn't at school, knowing full well that I couldn't get my diploma because of that. Yeah, that's not nice, is it? That is not really nice. I think that guy's a loser, man. Can you mention some Golang packages that are a must know in Golang? Ooh, Golang. I don't Gin, I guess. I mean, I'll let you know the ones that I like that are currently in here. So if I take a look at my, well, first of all, if you are developing an application, right? So if you're developing an online application, a web application, and you don't want to have to recompile every time and you want to just be able to see your latest changes, I recommend Air in Golang. So this one here, Golang. It's just a live reloading thing. So whenever you make a change, it will automatically recompile your application and run it. I personally like Gin for Golang, but I know that there's like 2 or 3 very popular web frameworks for Golang. This is just my preferred one. I wouldn't say it's a must one though. But if you are developing web applications, I think Tempo is a must library for you to learn. So I've already said that at the start of the stream, and I'm going to say it again. Tempo makes Golang feel like PHP, and I think that's a good thing. So try that one out, right? Okay. And yeah, there's like very useful documentation as well on Tempo. You can see how it all works. I'm not going to go through this in the stream. If you are interested, Ardash, there is a actual Tempo stream that I did back in the day, maybe like 3 or 4 months ago. You can go back to the playlist in this video and then look at my other Golang playlist, and there will be one in there about Tomo. But yeah, those are the must learn Golang packages. I don't really have strong opinions on Go, to be honest. I'm not really a Golang streamer. I'm not really a Golang developer. This is just something I do on my free time. I've never actually worked with Golang full time, so I don't really have that many strong opinions on it. I'll check out. Nicola, hello Nicola, how's it going, dude? I just started learning Go, but I like SQLC and Goose for migrations. Yeah, so I actually use Goose. So Goose is really good as well. That's a good mention that I didn't actually do. So Goose is actually very straightforward. You can just write SQL, very small SQL migration files, and then it just works. But this is actually what I'm using here. So you can see that there's a step where the migrations actually run automatically. Let's see. So there you go. Migrations, no migrations to run because it's already on the current version, but there is Goose on my toolchain here somewhere. And again, if you are interested, Ardash, in this, I have already added this to my to the playlist. So yeah, there is a video in there about Goose as well. Anyway, I forgot where we were now. So I'm fairly certain that this one here is done now. I'm going to leave it as is. I'll close it later on outside the stream. Remove the image folder configuration. I realized that having the image folder configurable in the project made this join the database metadata with the system. For example, a user may spin up the admin with the image folder -media, then add some images through the post endpoints. After closing the app, the user opens admin app again with the image folder set to images. this would break the image post. I don't think this is an issue anymore because I think we just serve images as static files now. But yeah, I mean, for context, I do have a config, Urchin config toml here, where you can basically say where your images will be located, right? So this line here. So this tells Urchin that all of the images on I'm going to serve are inside the images directory, as you can see here, right? So this is just a bunch of them. I don't know why we cannot see those, but yeah. And okay, so we do have actually got media here. And this directory is configurable, so you can actually change it, a runtime if you want to, where those images will be located. But previous to this work, I also stored like some metadata about the images themselves on the database, and I removed that because I thought it was very unnecessary to have to load image metadata and then the image itself and then serve that image with the metadata. So the metadata that I was saving was something like, the alt text or the title of the image and so on and so forth. But yeah, right now I think this is unnecessary, to be honest, which means that this no longer breaks the work. Let me just check that though. So if we do have image directory or something. Let's just look at app settings, .go files. So this is the thing that saves everything. This God kind of config file, or the config struct, if you prefer. I just started letting go, but I like SQL. We read that one. Do you do open source? If you do, can you suggest some good first steps? Yes, I do open source on my free time. I don't do open source at work, but most of my work should be. You can see most of my work on the GitHub linked in the description. Do I have a good first step? Dude, just pick an app that you like. Just pick something that you want to make, something that makes you, enjoy coding. And then just put it on GitHub and then work on it every day for like a few months until you finish it. And you do that over and over again. And eventually you'll be able to kind of help other people's projects because you're going to have so much experience. And yeah, I mean, it's just as easy as that, to be honest. It's not a difficult thing to do. It just requires time and requires practice. In the same way as coding does. I mean, it's just coding. It's just coding. There is no like special power involved in doing open source at all. It's just coding. It's just coding that you do for free. That's how you can define open source. But anyway, so we have image directory here. Let's see what that is actually used. Delete image handler. See, I'm deleting the images here. Oh, dude. Yeah, so this is adding the image, and I don't use the database at all, so this is something that we could already fix. Yeah, let's fix those things, shall we? So let's... Okay, where am I? Let's check out main and do a bunch of fixes on the image handling, shall we? I already spot one here, which is like the database being passed in but not used. I don't think we need to have that at all. So yeah, so get checkout minus b, and then we do image endpoint inconsistencies. Okay. And here we go. By the way, welcome to everyone who's watching the stream. I would appreciate if you can click on the like button. It does help me out quite a lot. Cannot stress that enough. But yeah, I mean, let's remove that. The first ISO that I can see here, I'm not sure why my CI is passing because that was actually being unused, is the database being passed in and not used, right? So we can remove that. Let's go back to this. Yeah, I was just mainly interested in how the image is getting served to the user, because that will tell me how the images are stored and then how I'm actually using the app settings, to be honest. So for example, this one here, right? This is what we want. So images handler. And if I look at where this is used, you can see that it's on the get images here. But I want an actual, like this is for all of them. So I do have an images, which will serve me everything apparently. So if I go on images here, they should serve everything. But you can see I don't have a bunch of stuff here. So for example, I'm not sure why it's not serving some of these. So it's looking for this image on my images directory. So why is it not there? So let's take a look. So according to my configuration, my images should be stored in images. And we are looking at OB3 to D3B7, which is this one here. And it just looks like a malformed image, to be honest. It just looks like a malformed image. I'm going to delete all of these and then get it somewhere else. So 2AA02. 2AA02 is also not visible. But the one that is visible is OE, which is this one here. Yeah, so these must be images that are malformed. If I'm honest with you guys, which is fine. But if I click on one of those, I can see images, and then we have that PNG, right? What is the actual link for it? Copy image link. So it's just data, images data, right? Images forward data is what I'm looking for. Let's catch up with the chat. Well, that's good advice, but should I care about good coding practices? For project structures, things I am writing in maintainable code, for others to read and understand. Yeah, I think you should, dude, but like, it's one of those things, you can also just start your project and then just do those things as you go, because there's nothing more important, right, than actually completing a project. You can start a project and think about 100 to 1,000 things that you need to do before you actually, start it. And I guarantee you that if you do it that way, you will never finish anything that you start. You know what's better than a good, well-polished project, a perfect project? A project that's actually done. That's how I see it. So yeah, I mean, do care about good coding practices, do care about making things as efficient as possible, but also care about finishing things, because if you don't finish things, you're not going to enjoy it in the end. Finishing something gives you enjoyment, put it that way. So finishing a project will make you enjoy the work that you've done completing that project. However, if you start a project and you've done like 1 year's worth of work on it, and you've not even done like 20-30% of what you wanted to do in the first place because you're too worried about being efficient, you're too worried about having the best coding practices, then I don't know what to say. Then, you're doing it wrong. And it's the same thing in the workplace, by the way. So yes, people do like good coding practices in the workplace, good coding hygiene, having efficient code. But at the same time, as soon as there's like some sort of crunch, people forget those things straight away and they tend to just try and get things done as opposed to perfect. And I can't blame them, because, any company is going to value getting something done rather than getting something perfect. And this is not to say that, I don't agree with good coding practices, with having efficiency. I do. That's something I do on my daily job. And it's something you learn along the way anyway. So like you start writing code that's naturally, good practices and efficient. But what I'm also trying to say, especially for the beginners, is, don't get too bogged down in making it perfect, because you're never going to finish anything if you do that. Send something in DMs. You can check it out after the stream. I used to do proofreading, minor editor work for a small offer, but wasn't paid too well. Oh, really? Sorry, dude, that happened to you. You should look into solid programming. Yeah, I mean, solid is good, but don't go out of your way to implement solid all the time, because no one does. Like, no one really does. I'm being serious. Like, understand the concepts there if you want to maintain code. I have shared my project repo in Discord authentication server in Golang, and it's a working project. Do check that out. Thank you, Adash. I will check that out, dude. You'll probably not be tonight, but maybe in the next stream we can talk about it. Clip time again, yes. So far I've got something like 4 clips, and it's gonna be very, very hard work tomorrow going through the stream and figuring out things that I can clip. But yeah, we seem to be doing it right. I can get enough content for like 2 or 3 weeks now, which is good. Yeah, so app settings, recapture key. I was looking for the image stuff, right? So first of all, let's close everything because I got lost already, guys. Not gonna lie, I got extremely lost in my project. I swear there was a control KW, control KW, close it all. Doesn't work. It doesn't work for me because I've got Vim enabled. Right, so close all. Let's find what we want to find. So it's images, data, right? Images, data. There you go. And we have a static. See, this is the thing. Before this, I used to serve the images in a non-static manner, but now we serve it statically, which is good. Is this open source? It is open source. Yeah, the link is in the description. And for anyone who's just tuned in, please, if you haven't done so, like the video in the first place. Secondly, go in here and then hit that start button. I'd appreciate it. And if I refresh this and we still got 61, I'm gonna be very sad. There you go, we got 63. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, guys. But yeah, for anyone wanting to help out in the project, anyone interested in doing some CMS programming, feel free to come and do some work here. I will review your code for you. I will give you tips as you help me and whatnot. But anyway, I don't think there's too many bad things to fix in the images, right? I think this is already working as intended, to be honest. Yeah, which means that the only fix that we really did here was this one here, where we actually removed an unused thing, right? So this is I guess good coding practices, put it that way. Let's just diff it. Okay. Let's diff that one too. What do we have here? Yep. Let's add both of these things. Let's commit them. So removed, unused. Database argument to image serving handler. I'm gonna push that, and that's another PR that we have up. Let's move on to the next bug, shall we? I think, yeah, there's not been much to do for the images itself. I like Go. I like Go too, Morax. We have something in common, don't we? Remove test files from coverage report. Ooh, this is an interesting one, and it's going to be a bit involved, so I might leave this one here for now. Serve proper error pages. Oh, we killed two birds with one stone, didn't we? Because in order to fix the one about the posts, we also created an error page handler. So yeah, we're doing good. Tell me something about CMS. Tell me something about you, CMS. I don't get the question. You want to know something about me or the CMS? Be more specific, my man. Support media, wildcards. This is a long-term thing. Tell you what, why don't I pick up APR that we left behind? So for example, arbitrary page creation. I had this work to allow people or allow users of the CMS to create pages. So pages are different to posts because they have their own sort of like unique links, right? So they will have their own unique links. And other than that, it's basically the same. It's just a render of a markdown. So I am going to try and see where this is at in this stream, because there isn't much to do apart from that. I'm just like getting back into the project. I'm not sure if you guys have felt it that way, but once you have a project, a coding project, and you leave it for like 2 or 3 months and you come back to it, like, do you actually understand the stuff that you wrote? Because quite honestly, I don't. And it takes me quite a while to get back into it. It takes me like a couple of hours of going back and forth in the project, of doing different, of reading different PRs that I've done in the past to actually understand it. Especially when it gets really, really big, right? So when a project becomes really, really big, which in all fairness is not the case now. This is quite a small project, but things start getting kind of like out of hand in terms of understanding. So anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna pick this back up and try and like finish it in this stream. So this is like the PR for being able to add unique pages through the admin page. So let's do that. And you see here, I've got like a bunch of mocks, add page, and I've got a bunch of tests already for it, which is cool. So git check out main. Oh, I can just go straight to this, right? Yeah, there you go. First of all, can I rebase this? So git fetch origin main. Git rebase origin main. I don't think I've pushed anything up aside from this. But let's see where we left off the work, right? Oh, wait. Did it override anything? I think my VS Code just overrode my thing. No good. I hadn't looked at babies versus monsters for 2.5 months before going to gaming Instable Fair. And it took me one full day of work to remember where everything was, but it was a nice feeling overall. That is good, Ahmed. So that is, yeah. It's good to it's good to recognize that there is a nice feeling when you do eventually, understand things again. Going back to it after some time, the project felt new and exciting once again. Yep, that is good. Yeah, I like the word new and exciting because that's something that most people kind of lose after working on the same thing for a while. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about you, Ahmed, but like, if I'm working on a company for like many years, say like 2 to 3 years, and I've been working on the same stuff, doing the same stuff, and then just like fixing bugs in it or making very trivial features, I get extremely bored of it, and the project does not feel new and exciting anymore. And that's what causes me to get depressed when I'm working, to be honest. But so far in this company that I'm working in, I've been able to kind of renew like the project every time, and in a way in a way get that feeling of new and excitement all the time, which is pretty good. Like it's probably the first time it's happened in my career where I actually kind of enjoy working on the same thing for a long period of time, because everywhere I've worked at before, my first job to my last one, so the last job that I had, I usually get bored after like a couple of years, to be honest. Or when it hits that 2-year mark and I'm working on the same stuff, I just get extremely bored. But not this time. It's actually we have really interesting features, and yeah. Anyway, I wish I could talk more about it, but it's all very very secret, shall we say? Yeah, I am gonna try. Have we recompiled this? So do I still have Urchin running? Because I'm gonna try another page right now, and I will want to see what happens. Pretty good. My previous customers were almost always academics, I guess you meant, and I wrote short projects for them. Very specialized maths, physics, simulations. So BVM is the first project I had worked for months. Yeah, that sounds interesting though. Like at least with maths and physics projects, there is a kind of satisfying outcome of my code actually works, right? Because if it didn't, straight away from the tests and whatever, they will just tell you that it doesn't work. But some other projects where you're working on the same thing for like 1 or 2 years, the progression is very slow, and when you can't see a particular like goal that you've achieved, things become even more boring. But yeah, that's what I find anyway. Okay, very first post. Yeah, let's try and add the page and see if it still works, shall we? So get post, add post. Let me add a new one. So if I duplicate a add post here to an add page, yeah, duplicate. Let's rename this to add page. If you don't mind, can you guide me about your CMS project? Dude, I can do that, but it won't be on this stream, to be honest. I mean, the best thing to do is to literally, like, if you go in the description after the stream, stay here and let's chat, right? Because I'm enjoying this. But after the stream, if you are really interested in learning how I did this, how I got to this point here, there is a link to a playlist in the video description. Click on that and then start watching it. There are something like 10 or 15 streams. They all tend to be like 2 hours long or so, but you will learn everything. Like you will learn exactly what I'm doing from zero. Like literally we had nothing when we started and now we have all of this. So if you are interested in learning what I'm doing here, I would recommend looking at the playlist from the start to now. And yeah, a lot of people have done that because I can see that this playlist here has the most views ever on my channel, and that's really unheard of. But working on games are fun, though you usually work on features with very visible outcomes and very distinct progress. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean that's the good thing about gaming as well, right? Very visible outcomes, as you said. So sure, no worries, man. I realized that I was assuming that you're the same person as before, but you have a different name. So Amanjeet Singh. Welcome to the stream, man. It's nice to see you here, and thank you for the messages. It's about owning the project, in my opinion. If you don't feel like it's your own project, then you won't be that committed to it. I'm about 2 minutes behind the stream. Yeah, I don't know why you're that far behind, my dude. But yeah, I mean, there is some truth to that. I'll agree to a certain point. I don't fully agree with it though. So yeah, if you own your project, and at the point that you get some goals done, at the point that you get some like features done, and you release it to people to use, it's very gratifying, isn't it? It's very nice. But at the same time, like most of the projects that I work in, I don't own it. I mean, my company does, and I still feel amazing when we get something done, when we get like a goal done, and we have perhaps a little bit of a crunch before a release, and we all pull together and kind of released something that works. That's kind of gratifying as well. I would say even more gratifying than having my own project. But yeah, I had to go away for a bit. Yeah, no worries, dude. So you can put it on 2x speed now, right? Okay, so add page. We have pages here. Let's save that. So page not found. So what did we actually get here? So pages on post is not found. And that's because we are on 8080. But if we go to 8081, we still have post pages not found, right? But why is that? Because I thought we did add the pages. So we have the page test. We have page table SQL. So this is a migration edit that I've done. So we do have ID. We do have an ID, content, link, and title. And the down is just to remove the page, which is pretty straightforward. So add page, there you go. So where do we use add page? So add page request. It's on a post page handler. So post page handler. It is on pages. So why isn't this working? So if I go to the admin handler, so post page handler. Oh, there you go. I guess it just hadn't triggered the recompilation, right? Because I switched branches. I'm not sure if Air picked it up. Because Air is the stuff that's actually like recompiling things on the go and doing like a hot reload, shall we say? Let's try that now. If we add the page, no, it's still not found. Page is still not found, but why? We do have post there, and we do have post here on the admin, and we do have the right port, which is the admin port. Right? Pages. Okay. Arcanap. It's good for people with ADHD. I had to go away for a bit. I had the exact moment. At the exact moment you said 2x speed, is synced up. All right, yeah, that is quite nice, isn't it? Coincidence, shall we say? I just knew it. Yeah, like why am I not serving this? Why can't I serve this? I'm truly confused because we do have the routes here with the pages on it, and it's post, and it goes to the post page handler, which should at the very least return something, right? At the very least. But we don't have that. This is the admin app as well. Urchin app 1. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I see what's going on. I see what's going on. So basically, what I think is happening is that the Urchin admin container is being hot reloaded, but not the Urchin admin app as well. So this is another bug. Let's take a look at how that whole thing is working. So Docker compose YAML. So the Urchin app, let's see, Urchin admin app is here, Urchin app is up here, right? So this takes the Urchin start admin app, right? Let's see if that's also being hot reloaded, because I'm not entirely sure. Start admin app. Try to return your web server. I could do, but I'm pretty sure that's the problem. So we're going to take a look at that right now. So you've got airtoml here. There you go. You see the difference. One of them is being hot reloaded and the other one is not. That is the problem. Yeah, ideally I would have like another airtoml document, airtoml configuration here for yeah, for the admin app. So that's the issue. Maybe we can do that right now, right? So we do have time on the stream. We got like half an hour. We can chat and do this at the same time. Okay. Can you show us some memory CPU usage for the app? Can you stress test it? I've not stress tested it now, but maybe we can do that in the next stream, yeah? The memory usage, I don't really know if I can show you, to be honest. My memory overall is being used up by the stream and stuff, but maybe if we do a quick htop here and then search for Urchin or Docker Compose. Docker Compose up here. It's basically nothing, dude. It's like 0% on everything. So it's very good. In fact, one of the reasons why I like Go so much is because the runtime is extremely small. So yeah. But if you look at the master application here, so I mean, it does create a few different. Yeah, it creates a few different containers. I was expecting only like 3 threads, to be honest. So one for the database, one for the one for the main application, and one for the admin application. But there's quite a few. But yeah, I mean, it's not too much. I mean, memory percentage is 0.3% in most of these in the Docker file. So what do you mean in the Docker file? Are you separating the build step from the runtime? For the Docker Compose, then if you're talking about the Docker Compose, no, it's all in the same thing. So Air will automatically build and run the application. If you were to deploy this with a separate Docker file, you have to separate that. Yeah, so you'd build it separately and then you only deploy the build application, which is something I haven't done yet. So I want to set up some sort of like Pulumi script or something like that will start an EC2 instance and then automatically build and deploy this application here. That would be amazing. And maybe that's something we can do in the upcoming streams. Actually, you gave me a good idea, so I'm gonna note that down. Actually. Oh, how did I miss that? Muslight, hello, dude. How is it going? It's good to see you here, sir. I can always trust you guys, the same people, to join me all the time, which is good. I really appreciate, guys, the support. No other stuff needed. Go compiles to a binary, so it's incredibly small. Yeah. So Go compiles to a binary. You are correct, and everything you need is just there. But yeah, I mean, let's create a new airtoml here, right? So let's create an airtoml.air.admin.air.toml, right? Shall we do that? Okay, and obviously in this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do Urchin admin, I think it is, and that is it. This is what we do. This is what we do. So include tempo. Okay, yeah. Ideally. really serve any of the templated stuff on the admin app. It's all just a REST endpoint. So yeah, no other stuff needed. And you can just run that on Alpine. Yes, you can. You can. Hello, hello. Yeah, I can still see myself. So yeah, I guess start admin app. We just do this now, right? So we copy this, we paste it here. We are going to now stop everything, stop the container, and we're going to try again just to make sure that we are automatically reloading things now. So if I do docker compose up, okay, your voice became louder now. Oh, did it? So should I turn it down? Sorry about that. Let me know if it's good volume here. I don't want to mess up with the volume too much, but I turned it down a little bit. And it's fully plugged, hopefully. Testing. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to the maximum volume. Yeah. So you see here. So I expect a bunch of these logs now. So let's see if I change anything in app.go. There you go. So we are actually recompiling both of them, which means that both of these applications are being are being hot reloaded every time. So good. I mean, do we have pages now? There you go. So we're missing required data. Could not match the string. That's better, right? That's much better. So what I actually need here, from the looks of it, is, if we can take a look at the PR, page response. Yeah, the title, content, and link, right? So this is what we should actually be doing. So the title, content, we can keep the same, I guess. But what we can do here is add a link, which is the unique link, right? My unique link. Oh, link. What? How the hell am I spelling link? Okay. So if we send this, thing should work. There you go. So post ID is there. So I have added something to the database. Question is, can I actually get this? See, yeah, I don't have a get post endpoint yet. So that's what we should probably do in this stream. I did some small stuff in Go, but got stuck at hot reloading. The tutorial I used separated the build and the runtime. Make the mic a bit quieter in OBS. In OBS, all right, yeah. I mean, yeah, I can definitely do that, but I'm using a compressor, so it doesn't really change too much. There you go. It's been limited. There you go. Should be a little bit better now. Let me know. Hey, the Freeman. Yeah, of course I remember you, man. Of course I remember you. You were asking about Golang streams, right? And here it is, man. You've got it. You've got it, my dude. The Freeman from last stream. Yeah. I think this man is the reason why I decided to do a Golang stream. Yeah, thank you for letting me know, guys, about the audio. I appreciate that very much. Which is a fun thing, actually. You know, when I started streaming and there was like absolutely no one watching me whatsoever, sometimes I would have like audio issues, and I wouldn't realize it until after the stream, and where, you know, YouTube had processed it and I would watch it again for VODs and stuff, and I realized that, damn, that audio sounded like shit. So you know, the good thing about having people watching me is that I can actually kind of, you know, figure out when things aren't working properly, which is good. So yeah, I'm gonna add a page here. So let's add a new page thing in here, shall we? Package app. I mean, we're not gonna have a bunch of these things. The post handler. So we're just gonna have one of them, which is the page handler, I guess. Okay, we will need a database for sure. Do we have an ID? So what do we have here? only this needs to go on the other side. There you go. Pro tip: have the stream open and listen to yourself on a 5-second delay at all times. Yeah, then I'll go crazy, man. If I'm listening to my voice all the time, like, I would go crazy. But I do keep it on the side here. I can see the microphone moving up and down, so at the very least, I kind of know when something is not completely working, like audio. So we should bind URI. See, I don't know what's going to come in here, yeah. So maybe, oh, damn it, get down. Maybe we will have to have an internal setup function where we like basically get all of the posts on the database and save a map from ID to unique. So in that way, it will be easier for us to request the unique post from the database, because the ID is the primary key, right? So if we are sorting by the primary key, I mean, we can probably get it by the unique post ID as well. I just don't know how efficient that is if we do some sort of like internal caching on SQL. Because the thing with relational databases, right, is so you should be really querying on the primary key as much as possible, because that's how it that's kind of like how it does all the sorting and whatnot. I think it's more efficient, right? If I remember well from university. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really work with databases too much ever, so please make a hello Freeman code. Please make a hello Freeman code. I'll make a hello Freeman code. Just give me like 10 minutes and then we'll do that, right, my man? So, you know, in the end of the day, this is what we want for sure. I'm going to comment it out here. So we still listen, okay. Let me make that request for the man here. So if we add a post, a body, hello, what is it? That free man. Let's add that. Oh, post not found. That's because it should have been on this one. There you go. ID 4. Right, so now the Freeman, we have a post with a name on it, and is the closest thing to a hello world that I'm gonna get, dude. Hello, the Freeman. There you go. Are you happy now? You've got a post. You've got a post here on my CMS, and it's gonna stay here for a long time because I'm not gonna remove it. I'll try not to remove it, man. But anyway, going back to what we had on the post. Yeah, we've got post copy here. This is obviously going to change. This is going to be a page logo, I guess. Let's uncomment all of this. We do have the Urchin context here. We are for sure going to add it to here. Add cacheable handler. Pages, and it will be the link, right? Okay, so pages will be querying the content from the unique link given the creation of the page step. I hope that works. Looks like a CMS is missing a sorting and DB side. What do you mean, Anton? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's missing a bunch of stuff, dude. So, you know, Anton, if you are interested in helping out, dude, you can raise a PR. And I would encourage, I'll be extremely happy if you want to do that, actually. I'll review your code, I'll give you some tips. But yeah, whatever is missing, if you want to as well, make a request. So I encourage you guys to, you know, if you see anything on the stream that I don't quite fix on the same stream, go on the link in the description, go on issues, and then create a new issue and explain what you just saw. Because that will make me remember for next streams, and yeah, you'll improve everyone's life, basically. I think that Freeman is behind by a minute also. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the stream delay works on YouTube, but I think everyone's behind in a way or another. So yeah, we're gonna put that, and we're gonna say that this is the page handler, and we're gonna pass everything there. Now on the page handler, what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna bind the wait, what? We're gonna have a binding here where we're gonna deserialize the thing into, and it's gonna be the page ID binding, int ID binding. Okay, yeah. And should bind URI. We're gonna bind into this, and yeah, we just have an ID now. No. In this case, it's a little bit different because actually what we have is the link, right? So we have the link, which is a string, and the URI is going to be a link, and the binding is obviously required in this case. Mine is 1.3 minutes, which is a bit crazy that YouTube can encode and broadcast the stream in such little time. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, actually, if you think about it, I'm the one doing the encoding and decoding. So they're just receiving data and passing it on. They're just like multiplexing the data. Because, you know, I'm doing the video encoding here, and your computer is doing the video decoding. YouTube is not doing it, dude. You gotta think bigger. YouTube will not spend money doing those stupid things. What I will say, however, is that they are spending a lot of money on my stream just sending the data back and forth, right? Because this is like what, a 1080p stream. It's being sent to something like 10 people every time. Then yeah, YouTube deleted my answer. Yeah, so Anton, sometimes when you post code or anything like that, then you will delete it. So if you must put code, then send it on the Discord and I'll take a look at it. But yeah, I mean, it just deletes things if it sees code or anything like that. That could potentially be a bot or whatever. YouTube can do that. It had Alpine Linux in it. Oh, I didn't know how that works exactly. Yeah, so I'll be very surprised if they actually, yeah, they're not doing any video encoding and decoding. That's like me and you doing it. All they're doing is just sending data back and forth and compressing data and making sure that they're spending the least amount of money as possible in every stream. So which is is a huge task if you think about it. It's enormous. But yeah. So we do need that. So at this point, we should have like a post or page binding here. Yeah, we should have like a page binding dot ID in this case. Well, in fact, I don't want the ID. What I want to do is I actually want to have a link. So wait, what? Page binding. Oh yeah. And this should also be renamed. So page link binding. And now I have the link. Yeah. So that, yeah, I should have a link here. Of course, if the link doesn't exist, so if the array is a nil or the page binding the link, if the length of that is len, right, like this, is 0, then we do an invalid link, right? So this is what we do. So invalid, and that should be a to-do here. So to-do, we should be serving an error page, invalid page URI. Now, what happens if they send a truly invalid page, right? So what is a valid page URL? So I'll say any sort of like alphanumerical characters, as well as digits, like 0 to 9, and something like dashes and underscores, right? Can we do that? I think we can. So that would be like a regex thing in here, right? So in other words, we have to validate the page regex. That is all. or not even that. We just got to make sure that there's a very quick validation function here. So function validate URI or URL or link, right? Which is going to return me a bool, which by default, yeah, it's going to take in the link, which is a string. Yeah, so regex is fine, but I don't want to do a regex because, quite honestly, they take a long time. So all that we're going to do here is like for every character, is in a thing though. So for every character in, is it range? Yeah, it's range, right? Yeah, it's range of link, right? Character declared but not used, yeah. If character is not in, or in other words, if it doesn't include, let's put something here. So valid characters. Oh, okay, so no, this is where I have to type every single thing in here. Can I be bothered doing that? Let me think. Yeah, I mean, why not? So is there a smarter way of doing this? Yeah, so we can check the character ASCII, right? So we can check against the ASCII, I guess. So ASCII, get ASCII, Golang. In other words, instead of like having to type all of the characters in an array and then check that every character is inside that array, I'm just going to check the ASCII. And that's still going to be a lot faster than the regex for sure. Why not just throw them some numbers? Let me see what, oh no. Not with a star, but with plums. Okay, usually CMS generates SEO-friendly URLs by lowercasing a title and replacing a space character with a dash. Yeah, the problem is that I'm asking the user to send those URLs, right? So for now, this is the easiest thing to do instead of me automatically creating the title. But that means that the user can send anything, right? And I don't want them to send something that looks odd. Do you know what I mean? Something that's not, something that is not valid as a URL. So this is why I'm doing this check here. It's just a quick and dirty way of validating the URL that they're passing, because they're the ones setting the URL at the moment. So yeah. And actually this function is going to be used in the handler that's actually taking the request to add a link, because I don't want to add anything that doesn't have a valid link, if it makes sense. Yo, where is the chat? There you go. Yeah, anyway, so let's see how we can do a fmt print string rune. So using a string conversion, wait, what does rune do? Oh yeah, rune. That is the oh, lost one too many there. One, program exited. Okay, what's the opposite of rune? A byte, I guess? A byte literal may contain one character. The reason you're getting these errors is because of that. Okay. Let me be a bit more specific. Golang, convert character to rune. There you go. There is no like odd function or anything like that Python has, I guess. Sorry, this one. Yeah, GTX. I'm sure that you can do with regex, but the point of regex is that they're usually quite expensive and takes too long. So if I just do a check like this, it'll probably be a lot faster. But yeah. In Go, the term rune has specific meaning. A rune is a data type used to represent Unicode, a Unicode code point, which is a unique integer value that corresponds to a unique character in the Unicode standard. A Unicode is, yeah, okay. So it's basically, it's what an ASCII code is for Unicode, basically. That's what a rune is, for those who don't know. How do I convert between something to a rune? Okay, rune converts the string to a slice of runes. Is it just a matter of doing this? Rune, and then I have character? Is that right? Is that correct? A greedy quantifier, so you would have a backtrack. Maybe, but I just want to see if it's valid or not. So it's even simpler than that. Think simpler. This is what I meant by the what do you call it? The shot that I released the other day. If you've seen that one, yes, you can do an incredible regex or a greedy quantifier for it, or you can just go through each array and then find the first character that doesn't match what you expect it to match, and that's going to be a lot faster than any of the other things mentioned. And it's simpler. So yeah, I do wonder, is rune character gonna work well? So if I do something like, instead of printing to a string here, wait, what does rune do? No, rune is not what I want, is it? What did that return? Oh, I meant to do 64. Yeah, so that converts it to a character, but I want the other way around. Convert a character, get the value of the rune of that. Why is it so difficult? Why can't I explain this? Convert character to int ASCII or whatever to rune value. That's what I want. Sort the string and do arbitrary search on the character to check. Yes, but you're missing the point. Sorting the string is already more expensive than what I'm going to do here. So that first step is already like way too much for this. Like, why am I struggling so much to convert a character to an integer value that's like the ASCII or the rune for it? It is interesting, isn't it? Int x.int succeeds. I'm trolling at least with the last one. All right, good that you're trolling it, because if you were serious, I would ban you from the stream. I'm joking, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, in fact, what is the most? Let's change this question a little bit. What's the most complicated way you can have to solve this problem? Let's see what you can come up with. Go on, hit me with the facts there. See what you come up with. How is Go able to convert? So does this just work? So if I do something like this, so a string int of something like that, a, conversion from int to a string yields a string of one rune, not a string of digits. What if I just do that? That's what I wanted to do. 97. Yeah, it seems to just work. So just converting it to an integer does just work from the looks of it. I'm going to go with that. All right. I don't know why I got stuck on that for so long. So first of all, I think this is the low bound, isn't it? So run 65 to 65 to 90, right? in fact, is uppercase? Yeah, it's uppercase. Let's see. And what we're going to do is we're going to convert this int of the character. We're going to make sure that it's more than 65 and less than, I guess, character rune value, character value. Let's put it that way. So int car, right? I'm not really interested in making this pretty at the moment, to be honest. At least in the last one, write an external assembler program that does it unwrap inside your CMS. Yeah, actually, Ahmed, you probably win that one, to be honest. There's nothing more difficult than that. Sorting the string would not be enough. You should go through the array and add every character to a stud set so that you get rid of the duplicates. After that, you can write. That's pretty good. That's the runner-up so far. Check. That can run on the most available threads for your system fast. Yeah, multi-thread each individual character. So in other words, you create 26 threads, or up to 26 threads, that will each acquire a lock for a map of booleans that says whether or not the current character is equal to that particular character. Actually, yeah, that would be my preferred choice. And when you get the result, you can send it back to the XML with a JSON. Then the JSON, yeah, I like that. I like that. Maybe we'll do a stream on that, just like obfuscating code and making things extremely complex, and see how many people actually enjoy it. Because it sounds fun, to be honest. It doesn't sound terrible. So it's uppercase, right? So we need to do this, and I think the uppercase was character value is more or equals to 60 than 65, and then character value is less than or equals to 90. Is lowercase. Now this is the interesting one, because I need to find what the ASCII is for this. It's 97, right? 97 to 97 to 1 to 2. Okay. And the last one is, I don't know what sign is, but we're gonna put all the available ones in here. So character value equals, or in fact, char equals to this, or char equals to this, right? Okay. If now this becomes interesting stuff. So if not any of this, so is uppercase, yeah, so is uppercase, or is lowercase, or is sign, return false. Okay, and we don't need this anymore. I think you should use gotos that jump between functions. It's midnight here. I'm about to turn off into. I gotta go. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Ahmed, again. Thank you for joining, dude. Don't forget to like and have a good evening, my man. I'm also gonna drop, guys. Hakunav Rezanav, have a good sleep, man. Yeah. Once again, guys, thank you very much for the support. I love when you guys all join the stream and we just chat shit, like what's the most inefficient way you can check that a link is valid. And I like the ideas there, dude. I didn't realize, but it's already 10 here and I've got some work to do tomorrow in the morning. And GTX again, thank you very much, dude. I enjoyed your ideas today. But yeah, I hope you guys liked another Go stream. I will come back next time with Golang and an actual plan. Today's stream was more like, let's just see how much code I can get out and how many fixes I can get to the project, because I don't really understand the project anymore. I need to go back to it and then like properly analyze it and then see where things were going, because I don't really know the direction of this anymore. But anyway, on that note, thank you all very much for joining. I will see you guys next time, and good night. Bye-bye.